Reads. All right, let's see. We are live. I'm gonna turn my video here in a bit and kind of test things out here. I'm not sure if it ended the first loop or not, but we are going to start. We're just gonna gather up some leads here and see what this button does, how many people are watching. I'm a very analytical person, so I'd like to see all the numbers come in. Okay. But we should start in about a minute or two. We have some leads that we need to call. But let's, while we wait, let's set up the agenda for people that are watching later. So you're not just seeing a bunch of blank space. First, what we're gonna do is Karen is gonna go through her deletes. We call them deletes. They're not actually deletes. It's just people that say yes or maybe, but we haven't particularly qualified them all the way. So generally we send them the text first. And then after we send them the initial text, which is the one that Justin uses, it's like, hey, are you interested in possibly leasing for 36 months? And then for us to pay you around asking or at asking, then variations of these. And then we wait for the response. Yes, no, maybe. Then from the yeses and maybes, we add another follow-up text, which is like, okay, cool. What are you considering for monthly rent? And based on that answer, you can follow up with a call or ask them another follow-up text. The one that we use is, okay, great. Like, is there anything I should know about that's not in the pictures, not on Zillow? Does it need any repairs? And generally with those three questions, you have a lot of information to go off, like what's the condition of the place? Is there something that you're not telling me? Generally, people also tell you motivation during that text. It's like, well, I need to move. It's in great condition, but the backyard may need a little bit of cosmetic repair, or the Zillow list is at 1140, but it's actually a 1240, and there's actually it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, but Zillow list is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. So that question is pretty vital for them to give you some information, and then it also gives you points to touch when you call them. So you have their monthly, and they said they were interested, and there's some general conditions about the house. So you kind of have, and a little bit of motivation. So you have a little bit of just touch base to confirm what they're talking about. And so Karen does a lot of the lead management, or she does a lot of the lead manager role. She's just there to make sure that all the information is correct, to pre-qualify them, and then maybe to get them a little bit familiar. Hey, we're also out-of-state investors. Is that something that you're comfortable with doing? Because maybe they're comfortable with doing the least option, but not with you because you're out of state. So we need to have that additional follow-up, and then maybe they're okay with that. Then she'll ask another follow-up question, and she'll say, okay, great. Let me tell you a little bit about us. We're not a big company. It's just me and my partner. And what we do is we put great families in great neighborhoods, good families in good neighborhoods, great families in good neighborhoods, established families in established neighborhoods, any synonym you like, just for you to keep your general spice, because it does keep being monotonous when you're doing the same kind of like sequence over and over and over. So we put good families in great neighborhoods, good families and good neighborhoods. Is that something you consider? You don't want to give them your whole spiel. You want to kind of see for their inflection, right? Because yeah, they're okay with you being out-of-state investors, but maybe they're not okay with you just subleasing it or doing an assignment of contract. or like, what are you doing? Out of state investor means a lot of things to different people. So this is what we do. We put good families in good neighborhoods, and we want to make sure you're comfortable with that. And is that something you consider? And if they say yes, then we'll ask, okay, great. So generally, when we put these families, we're pre-qualifying them. We're making sure that they're okay and you're okay, and everybody's on the same page. So is there a partner that you need to speak to about this? Because I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page and everybody knows what we're doing. Make sure that you're all comfortable with doing that. Can you make that kind of decision today? Does anyone you need to talk to a little bit later on? So then we can also make that decision today. Or maybe do you need a little bit more time to think about it? Or maybe we should call you back in 1, 2, 3 days. But generally, I don't like it when people like ask for more than 3 days, because they're not really ready to make a decision. And that's not really an A lead, right? So if they're saying, well, I need to talk about it with my lawyer and they'll take a week and blah, blah, blah. But then you're like, okay, cool. So that's a good time to follow up with you. But generally, when people say a week, they'll call you back in 4 days if they're motivated. If they're not motivated, they won't even call you back in a week, right? And you don't want to chase them necessarily, but you can put them in your 30-day follow-up. So all those people can be in your 30-day follow-up. Just make sure that you're taking notes at those particular people. So you're like, okay, so this person already told me that they're interested in a lease option. They're interested in doing something creative. They're okay with out-of-state investor. They're okay with us being like putting someone there, a good family in their good neighborhood. So they know almost everything about us. They just don't know that whether we're going to assign it or sublease it. And you don't want to really push that option onto them. And you should be comfortable, in my opinion, to either sublease it, be in their stay, and do a sandwich lease option if the numbers make sense to you. So as I said before, Mr. Homeowner, right? I want to make sure that you and your partner have time to think about it, that we're all on the same page. And if this doesn't work out for you, if the numbers don't work out for you, then, we can discuss other options. I'm comfortable doing cash as well. And I'm comfortable doing a owner financing. So if you're able to, maybe this doesn't work out for you, then we can also, if you're able to give us a little bit more time, let's say 10 to 15 years. And if they say 5 years, you can consider that too. Then I'll be able to maybe do something that's more workable with you. Because you said maybe you wanted a little bit more asking price, or maybe that person wants a down payment that's really significant, that's outside of a lease option. It's like, okay, cool. When can I talk to you and your partner? Because I don't want to be writing drafts all day long. I just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. And if we can make some kind of signed decision, I can send you that draft. So everybody has something in writing. So you know that we're serious and that we're able to do something. So when can I speak to your partner? When is a better time to reconvene? When is a better time for you to be able to kind of think about this over and we can actually make a decision? So when that person tells me a time and they're able to follow up on that time, then I think you can have the phone call of, hey, let's now come together some kind of more finite terms. What do you want to be able to do? Do you want your full asking price and that's all you want? You're not able to give me a little bit of wiggle room? Okay, then the only way I'm able to do that, like your full asking price, and you want it really fast, like less than a year, is if I'm able to do this price. Like let's say a wholesaling contract or an option contract or a 1-year lease option, and then you'll spell it out for them. And I won't be able to stay in it. Like, I'm an investor. I make most of my money purchasing properties, but you're asking for way too much. The only way that I'll be able to help you out, and we have systems to find these people for you, we pre-qualify them and everything else. The only way I'm actually able to help you out is if I find a buyer for you and you are responsible for them. And, I'll make a little bit of money on it, but I won't make a lot. You'll make most of the money, but you're also taking most of the risk. Is that what you want to be able to do? Or would you like a partner to kind of stay in it and to manage the tenant buyer, and you can get your asking price, but it won't be in 1 year? you're going to have to give me time, a little bit of time on that if you want your price. So I'm shifting the words a little bit from saying my price, your terms, or your terms, my price. So if they're willing to go and they want their money now or less than 1 year, then it's going to be at an 80%, 70%, 60%, 50%, depending on the condition. And if they don't want to have that conversation, great. I've developed a lot of rapport already. So I won't pitch the final offer until they are very comfortable with me and they're ready to go, right? You don't need to close them, in my opinion, unless they're a lead, they're ready to go, and you have some kind of decent rapport with them. But anyways, that's kind of the theoretical part. And you're going to hear a lot of the actual calls and how we actually implement that. And of course, go from there. So do you have any leads?
Go to the and change your name on Zoom.
And change my name on Zoom?
Yeah.
Let's see. 2, 3, 4. All right. Also, if you guys have your own leads and you want to come in and you want to make calls with us, that's great too. If you feel like, hey, I'm a better lead manager, I know like what the person is doing, like I can kind of understand, but I can't really close them. Like I can't make a decision today, or maybe I'm rushing the other person and I'm making them uncomfortable and I can't close them, or I can't follow up with them properly, right? I need a little help with like actually closing them, or I need a little bit of help of maybe having a lead manager filter them out and I'm a better closer. So if you feel like you need a lead manager more like Karen, and you just need, you know, someone to kind of like process your leads, pre-qualify them, and then you want to close them, you can hop on this call and there's something we can do for you guys as well. Or if you want to, let's say you have a lead, you're better at a lead management and you want us to close, that's okay too. And if you want to join us for Thursdays, and that's Coach Mark and Coach Ed and Coach Justin, like they also can talk to your leads for you. But this is something that we're experimenting with on Tuesday. So do you have any leads?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So she's going to make a call right now.
And just a little bit of background also, we just joined Justin's apprenticeship, like, well, I just joined maybe like a month ago. So I'm still fairly new. I'm still trying to get the grasp of my tone, how to speak to people, and when to cut them off. So this is also like a learning document for everyone who's barely getting on, barely joining. So it's not discouraging. It's okay for people to tell you no. It's okay for them to just hang up on you, move on. There's going to be a person who does want to do something with you, who does want to move forward with you. So let's go ahead and call this person up. Oh, bummer. Okay, well. Oh, okay. I think I'm gonna get a voicemail. Yeah. Hello. This is Christina. We were speaking about the 36-month lease and then selling at asking. Let me know if this is still something that you might be interested. I'd like to move forward with today. Thanks.
And if you're watching the replay, you know, feel free to leave a comment. And if you're watching this live, you can ask a question. If you're new, if you want to hop in here, that's okay too. Yeah, so we're gonna probably have to figure out something to do with the dead air time while we're getting a lead connected. So let's see. You got something on call?
Hi, this is Christina. We were speaking about the 36-month rent and then selling it asking.
Oh, yes, yes.
How are you?
So was this something for you or for someone you don't know?
No. So actually, we're out-of-state landlord investors. Um, would that be something you're comfortable with?
You said it's out of state investors.
Right.
Okay, so I guess I just need to know. I'm not really familiar with the situation. If you're an investor, does that mean that you're putting someone in the house or you're keeping that? Like what? I don't know how the process works.
Well, typically what we do is that we try to find a good family for a good neighborhood. So what that means is that we would be the ones backgrounding check, credit score, all the stuff needed to qualify to make sure that they fit into your terms. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah. Is this the number I can give you a call back? Like I said, I would need to discuss it with my husband and
Okay.
see how comfortable he would be with this situation, and I can give you a call back later today.
Okay, sure. What time would be best for the callback so I can speak to both of y'all?
Well, it's 12:30 basically where I am. So I'd say probably about 4 o'clock for us.
Okay, how about I give you a call around 4:30 then, so I can give you all time to discuss it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, and what was your name again?
My name is Sakara.
Sakar. Oh, that's a beautiful name.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And who am I saying? You say Christina?
Right.
Okay, perfect. Well, I will talk to you again in a few hours.
Of course. Thank you, Miss Sakara.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay.
Sounds good. What I would say is
Unmute yourself, yeah.
yeah, that's good. I would say maybe take that opportunity to maybe add another conversational point. What you did really good is like, you asked her for a name and that's a beautiful name. Maybe like, oh, that's great. My name's Karen. It's not as pretty as your name,
Christina.
or Christina. My name is Christina. That's not as pretty as your name. And then try to make a little joke, right? And then what was your husband's name again?
Okay.
It's like, is it as pretty as yours? No, I didn't think so. And then you can have that little chuckle, right? So that little chuckle, that's really important because even if they don't like you, you've already established trust. So trust is very important with people that you just called for the first time. So that's the only thing I would say on that. But that's pretty good. That's the only thing that you can do because she still needs to talk to them. Okay, next. While she's getting that up, I need to figure out any chats. So if you guys are watching, just feel free to, say something like "we are watching" or you guys are doing a good job, thumbs up. You guys are, this is what I thought about the call. That's great too. And if you have any questions, leave that there. And if you're watching the replay, leave a comment, question. We love to see those too. Will we need to blast more people? Are you not having enough leads, or do you need to just process them?
I'm just processing.
Okay, you're just processing the leads. So a little bit more of what we kind of do. If you are new and you're not blasting people already, I would recommend going to Justin's little page here. It's called, I think, www.shutupmoney.com/lead training. And that's exactly what we do. Like, we just scrape from Zillow and then we blast them through REI reply. And, 150 a day, if you're a one-person team, more than enough. Especially if you're not familiar with REI reply, and it can be a little bit of a hurdle. So you might want to schedule a call with Justin and he can point you in the right direction. Maybe if you're watching, you can leave a comment and maybe one of us can maybe help you out if it doesn't take more than a minute or so. REI reply has also a support channel and stuff like that. But getting started with REI reply is going to be a huge time saver. Like, I think when we were just doing wholesaling without REI reply, and we use something like Text Now, which is free. If you're just starting off with that, that's good too. And you just text these people individually. It takes a long time. So having a nice CRM like that, it's only $50 a month, but you're able to talk to all these 150 sellers at once, and you're saving information. You can save contracts in there, save purchase price. Remembering what they say is also important. Like key little conversational points, just leave that in there. So when you have that follow-up conversation, you're pulling those notes and you're talking to them and you're like riffing off that thing. So you can feel like a person, it's personable. I didn't call another 150 people today. I just called you. We had a great conversation. Let's touch back on those points. So REI reply is great. There's also a process of how you can download the leads, bust them out, the first thing to say, and bring them and watch the other seller calls that Justin has, and get involved. Just get involved. Even if you're not part of the community, Justin does have a free Facebook group, and get involved there, ask questions. There's a lot of people that are willing to help you out if you're started, right? And if you are, if you do have the opportunity to join Justin's club, like you get to have access to Coach Mark and Coach Ed daily seller calls, and you get to call leads together, right? You get to be with people that have a lot of experience, so you won't be by yourself. I think if you're just starting out and you haven't called a lot of people, then like you might feel a little bit shy, but it's all about getting your reps in. The more reps you get, the better you get. So do we have a lead?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
This call is going to be a cold, very, very cold call. So let's see if he picks up.
Call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging
Of
system.
course.
60229187883 is not available. Recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hello, hello. This is Christina. You told me to call you at this number for let me know if there's something that we're able to do today. Thanks. Click.
I see some more people hopping in here. Welcome. Just if you didn't catch the first part, we are calling people. We are part of Justin's Apprentice group. This is our 4th week of doing it, and Christina has only been actually talking to sellers for like, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks. No, that's a lie. She's been talking to them for 4 weeks, but she's only really been comfortable doing something for about 2 or 3 weeks. We have 2 signed contracts, and we should be closing 1 contract pretty soon. Alex is working on that, and we use Justin's disposition team, and we like bombard Justin with questions all the time. I don't know if that's what Justin had intended for when he asked us what we wanted to do, and we were like, okay, cool, like, you know, we're gonna ask you a bunch of questions. And Justin was like, okay, sure, like, you know, it's maybe he's probably thinking like we're just gonna ask him 1 question a day, but we ask him like 2, 3, 4 questions all the time. But he doesn't mind. I think he wants to see you succeed, and if you're actively working on a deal, like, he will try his best to really help you out. He gives a little bit more special attention to that. But even if you're in his club, right? If you're in the club and you just do the daily calls, I think that will be just great for you. You don't really need to be an apprenticeship unless you need more, like, you're doing a lot of volume and you need to be like kind of like making sure that Justin is going to protect you from like scenarios that you're uncomfortable with, or a complex situation that you can't really wrap your brain around. Then maybe you can have Justin behind your corner, and you can go like make sure that you have the theoretical understanding of it. And it's really good to have that mentorship with someone. Okay, so you set these goals. Did you accomplish them? No? Okay, why didn't you accomplish them? And I think he does that even in the daily call, but it's more focused, more hands-on, because you're more active than just theory. You're probably in the apprenticeship team to be more hands-on, doing this every day. Then if you're in the coaching call, you're probably doing it like, you know, a part-time thing, or like 1 hour every week, more on the theory, just helping get set up with all this kind of stuff. But it's definitely something that you should try, either or, something that might work out for you. But yeah, we have 2 contracts. We get about a contract a week, and we blast about 750 people 4 times a week. So what we do is about 3,000 leads. We go through them, and we generate about 5 to 15 like leads that are pretty solid that we can do something. We send about 1 to 2 contracts a day. If not 2 contracts, it's 1 contract with 1 LOI. The biggest issue is we're not able to convert that right now, because I try to just have Christina do it. But now anything that is a contract, I will follow up on it and I will close. Like, I will take care of the closing if she's going to take care of the lead management role stuff. So do you have another lead?
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, that I like to just put out there, just because we do send out such a large volume, it is the 2 of us working together, and majority of those leads are no's or solds. So just so y'all don't get overwhelmed with that number as well. It didn't go through. There you go. Hi, good afternoon. This is Christina. We were texting about the were you still interested in doing the 36-month lease? 36-month lease and then selling at asking. You said it'd be a possibility for you. Okay. Um, something you think about. Oh, did you already have terms or anything in mind? No? Okay. Did you, what were you thinking about doing with the property? First of all, did you just want a straight cash offer? Okay. Uh, can you tell me a little bit more about the property? Just because I really can't find anything on Zillow as far as like pictures and what it looks like.
Go on.
Okay.
Been putting down on top camper, and so pictures that have the carpet on it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the apartment.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. That sounds really beautiful, actually. It looks like you take care of your house very well. If you don't mind me asking, why are you trying to sell it then? Just from the sounds of it. Oh, okay.
Mostly. My mom. So I bought
That sounds like you just described something that I want to do one day. That sounds like an adventure.
over maintaining.
What a life. That's how life should be lived. Um, all right, so it seems like you're still very on the flow with things. As they come, you'll start considering things more often. Okay, so then okay, so I think the 36-month lease won't be something you're interested in then, just because if we went that route, we would be the ones finding you a good family for your good neighborhood. But since you don't want to maintain it, then I don't think that would be a route that you want to do. Yeah, okay. So let us know if anything changes. Um in our route you would be getting a monthly payment for the rent that you would be receiving for the first 3 years, and then they'll be able to buy your house at the end of the 3 years. If that's something you're still thinking of having as a possibility, let me know. If it's not, it's totally cool. um but yeah, we'll keep in touch later on in in the cell just to see how things are going with you. Would that be okay with you? Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you for the conversation. You have a good day.
Um, how do you think about that call?
She wasn't a motivated seller to begin with, so I probably could have cut her off a little bit earlier on. I left the door open, so later on in life, maybe it's a very, 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 very hard maybe. But I think her the way that she wants to do her little life plan is probably better for someone to buy it off cash and do a quick sale so that she can move on with her life. But I should have gone with what's the lowest that you take, or what cash offer would you be accepting?
Call her
Because it
back.
sounds like it's something.
Yeah, if you think that's how you should handle it, I mean, just call her back and go through the cash script. Why not?
Okay. Hey there, it's Christina again. Yeah, so a quick question. What would your price be if we were able to do a cash offer? Oh, okay. Um, and would that be the best you'd be able to do? Okay. Okay. Um, okay. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties right now at the moment. Sorry about that. Okay, so 650 and 675. Sorry about that. Okay, so then would you consider owner financing as well? Or is that not something that, okay. Um, let me go ahead and give you a call back at a later time then, just for the cash offer. I do need to speak to my numbers guy, and he's a little bit better at figuring something like that out. Okay, okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Was there a discount between what the asking price is and what you asked for?
Yes. So the original price is 750, and she went down to 675.
What does Zillow say it's worth?
It doesn't give me a estimate.
Okay. So after you asked them what's the best they can do, did you give her what generally should you ask next?
If that's the lowest that they'd be able to do or take. And generally we try to ask these questions at least more than once.
Mhm. Do you remember what one of the questions were?
No.
Okay. So let's go through an example, right? You can be the seller and I'll be the person. So I'm calling you back. Okay, so you consider a cash offer, right, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So what's the least you can do for me?
I don't know, probably 675.
Six 675. Okay, 675. That is lower than what you listed. Um, that's the least you take.
Yeah, that's the least I'd be able to take.
You wouldn't consider something like 525.
No.
Okay, I understand. So you said like this house is in pristine condition then. There's nothing I need to worry about, no repairs. It would definitely appraise for that price.
Yeah, because I just remodeled it.
Okay. You just remodeled it, so it could probably the market could definitely bear around that price. So 675. So I don't think I can do 675 because I probably want to buy it around 525. But if one of my investor friends could do 575, should I tell them to shove it?
Uh, well, not shove it.
Right. Okay. What should I tell them then?
Well, you are buying 10 acres of land too. I mean, I think that's a fair price.
Okay. How far are you from my investor friends if they were willing to do something like that? Because if I could get it to them for like 575, they'll buy me a sushi dinner. So I would want to relay that price to them. How far are you from the 575?
No, I'm firm on my price.
Okay, so you're pretty firm at 675.
Yeah.
Okay. I can definitely like pitch it to them. But if we were maybe to do 675, I'm not sure, and maybe I can loan my friend like 100K or something. Um, you'll be able to maybe do something like a 45-day option, like maybe lock it up for that price, maybe. Is that
Uh,
something you'd be able to do today?
well, I'm not very familiar with what an option would be.
Oh,
What?
it's like a permission slip. So basically, I have permission to buy your property at 675. Or basically tell my friend that, hey, 675, you have the option to buy at 675. If not, you and I could part ways in 45 days. Is that something you'll be able to do today? It's okay to tell me no.
Uh, okay, so it's like a realtor agreement then.
No, it's not a realtor agreement. It's the option to purchase. So basically, we would have the option to basically buy your property. But basically, it's a permission slip to basically have permission to tell my friend, hey, would you like to buy this?
Huh.
It
Well,
seems like you're still thinking about it. When would be a good time? Because you can definitely say no. You probably get a lot of offers already at 675.
uh, well, no.
Okay. Is there something that we can do today or maybe not? Because we've been talking for 5 minutes now, and I really need to get on my next call. But you can definitely text me back if this is something interested in you. But the offer is only valid for the next 2 hours. I can send you a letter of intent that we will do it for 675, but it'll only be for the next 2 hours. Is that okay? Can I
Uh,
send you that draft or maybe not? It's okay to say no to me.
yeah, go ahead and send me the draft.
All right, great. And so if I don't hear back from you in 2 hours, can I assume that I can cancel the draft and you and I are going to part ways?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. So I can have Christina send you the draft for the option for that thing. And great. But it'll take me about 5 to 10 minutes. I do need to call my money partner to make sure that I can send you that. But if you do receive a draft from me, it is a written offer, and you have no obligation to actually accept it or not. But it is a written offer, and it shows you that I'm serious, and I'll do something today. So if you're able to do something today too, can we kind of shake on it? And if not, you can just tell me no.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and send it.
Okay, great. Thanks. Can you send me your email at the end of the call?
Let me do that now.
Okay, great. Awesome. Thanks for your time. So that's something you can do, right? So you can, after you get a price, you can basically say, well, I can't do it. So now you're going through the assignment way route, right? Because there's not enough meat for you. So it's going to be your investor friends, or maybe your investor friends are going to buy it or resell it or whatever. So you can go that route. But after you go that route and then they're still not wanting to go, then maybe you can say, well, maybe your price, maybe you know something more than me. So why don't we put up an option, and let's see where it goes. Like maybe someone else will buy it. Maybe you can still make $5,000-$10,000. Who knows? But you still need their permission. So if I send out this draft today, you need to get that commitment, right? So when they look at it, they're gonna, like, hey, cool, make a decision, yes or no, right? I gave you what you wanted, your price, but it has to be something that I want to do, my terms. So 45-day option, right? If nothing happens, fine, whatever. But now I have inventory, and it's only for the next 2 hours. No maybes, sir. Yes or no. I'm gonna send you this draft. That's okay, but I'm gonna show you that I'm serious. Maybe you're uncertain that I'm not a serious buyer. So why don't I send you this draft? But it's only for 2 hours. It's a letter of intent, 2 hours. It's expired in 2 hours. If no, then it's okay. But if yes, let's do something. Because like I've given you what you want, then you're a maybe. Then if they're not going to sign, they're a maybe. I won't even call them back. If they're not going to sign at their price, then at a letter of intent, then it's a done deal. I'm not calling them back. I'm calling them back in 30 days. I'm not calling them back in 5. So let's flip the role, and now you try again.
Ring ring.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, this is Christina again. I was just calling you back. So what was the least that you take for a cash offer?
675.
Okay. I see that you did take off quite a bit from your original Zillow asking price. Is 625 the least that you'd be able to do?
It was 675, not 625.
I'm sorry about that. Is the 675 the least that you'd be able to do?
Yeah, I'm pretty firm on 675 actually.
All right. Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't be able to do the 675. Okay, but how about this? So I do have some investor friends who would be able to probably meet you at to 550, 575. Should I make them that offer, or pretty much tell them to shove it?
Well, you probably shouldn't tell them to shove it. But no, I'm pretty firm at 675. Like I need to make 675. I've already come down from 700 something. That's like $70,000 right there.
Right. Okay. So if I'm able to lend my investor friend some cash, how much would I have to lend them?
You'd have to lend them 100,000, right? I mean, that's what I'm asking for, 675. If they can only come up with 575.
Okay. So then, would you give us a permission slip to go ahead and market your property? It would be a non-exclusive form. Would you feel comfortable with us doing that for your 675?
What's a non-exclusive permission slip? Sounds pretty fishy to me.
Oh, no. So this is something that it's basically a contract that we'd be able to, not a contract, it's more of a permission to advertise your property, so that we are able to.
So you're not buying my house at that price, so you just want to market it?
Right.
I'm not sure, but if I was comfortable with that, what's going to happen? Are you a realtor or what's going on?
No, so actually we're out-of-state investors ourselves. We would be assigning off the property to our other. This is not going well.
Yeah. So let's time out. I think when they ask you, well, what's this like non-exclusive permission slip, right? So you don't want to start off with the word permission slip unless you're kind of savvy. I would say like, well, you need to mute yourself. So what if we could do your price? So 675. But could you give me 45 days to find you a buyer? Like, could you give me that option? And then they'll ask generally, because they're not savvy, what's an option, right? They hear purchase price or their purchase contract, but they generally don't hear option. So you can then say, oh, it's a permission slip. Basically, it says that I have permission to buy your property at that price, and it also gives me permission to advertise and market and to find a buyer for you at your price. So I think you should probably rehearse that a little bit, feel a little bit more comfortable, because I think the other three questions you're good with, but the fourth question, I think you're a little bit struggling with that. But you want to say that because then you can at least get something. And with something, you can negotiate the other parts, right? So try to practice that so we can try to do one more round. So this is what you should say. Okay. Okay, so if we could do your price, would you give me 45 days? Would you give me that option?
Are we working?
Yes.
45 days. I mean, sure.
Okay, great. Generally, people do ask what an option is, and an option is just a permission slip. It gives me the right to advertise it, and it gives me the option and permission to buy it at that price. So you're comfortable with that? This is something you're able to do? Because this is the only way that I'm actually able to do your price.
Are you putting a fee on top of finding someone to buy it for me?
Okay, time out. We're just gonna role play these two questions for
Okay.
you. That's what you should say. The the second question is basically like what an option is, right?
And yes, what was an option again?
The option, it basically just gives me permission, like a permission slip to go market and have the ability to buy it at your price. That's what an option is.
Oh, okay.
All right, so that's sort of what you should say. So let's role play those 2 points because you're still kind of shaky on that. So the first thing is you just basically ask for the 45 days. Would you give me that option? And then you can follow up if they ask you. And if they don't ask you, say it anyways. So you don't leave that like just because they might be a little bit passive. Just go ahead and address that. And you want to be the first one to strike any doubt. It's like, oh, this is what it is. It just gives me permission, a permission slip for me to go buy that property, for me to go sell that property, for me to go market that property, and giving me 45 days. That's the only way we will to do your price. And if not, if it doesn't work out, then you and I don't lose much.
All right. So would you feel comfortable with a 45-day option then if we do are able to give you your price?
What's an option?
Oh, so an option is just like basically a permission slip to go ahead and market your property.
Market my property?
Right. It's actually illegal for me to market your property to anything on social media, Zillow, or anything like that. Um, so we don't we don't want to get in trouble. So we need actually your signature on that 45-day option to go ahead and move forward with that. It's completely okay if you want to tell me no, but
But
that is a route that you might be able to consider.
okay, let's do that one more time.
So would you consider a 45-day option if we're able to do your asking price?
45-day option.
Yeah.
What's an option?
So an option would be something it's like a permission slip to go ahead and market your property. It's actually legal for someone other than the owner of the house to market the property for you unless they're like a realtor and they have a contract.
Okay, so you're not buying my property?
No, we were finding someone for your asking price.
Okay, what if I find a buyer myself?
Then you find your buyer, you do your process, and it's no harm, no foul on either part of us.
Okay. Okay, so you're saying that you can find a buyer for me at the price I want.
We can definitely try and start looking for them, but of course we need your permission to go ahead and do that.
Okay. I mean, I guess you said you said that I can also find a buyer myself, right? So,
Right.
I mean, why not?
Right. It's a no harm, no foul situation. If you want to tell us no somewhere between the 45 days, we'll just go ahead and cancel that agreement and we part ways.
Okay. So what, you're gonna send me agreement or what's gonna happen now?
So it would be a non-exclusive agreement. Would you feel comfortable moving forward today with that?
Probably have to talk to my wife, or in this case, I have to talk to my husband.
Okay. And then When would be the best time to reach both of you then, so I can speak to both of you?
I don't know, like 4:30. Right now it's like 1 o'clock, so 4:30 maybe.
Okay. And if I don't reach you at 4:30, what would happen then? Can I just assume that you're not interested and put you in my no list so I don't bother you again?
No, no, no. I am interested. You did say that you're gonna find a buyer, right?
Right. We'll give it our best shot to do it within the 45-day mark.
Okay. Well, send me the agreement. I don't want to sign anything without, looking at it first. So why don't you send me the agreement and we'll go from there.
Okay. But just letting you know, if nothing happens today, if I don't get a call back from you today, I will go ahead and void the agreement and just assume that you guys weren't interested in and weren't able to contact me back. Would that be fair for you? You think that's fair?
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
Okay, sounds good. Then I will be expecting an answer, and if I don't, we'll just go ahead and part ways from there.
Okay.
Click. Or well, goodbye. Click.
Okay, that's pretty good. You got the first two questions, at least some kind of footing on it. I would say that don't be too pushy.
Okay.
Just suggest first and then reaffirm. So
Okay.
something better that you could have said is like, okay, so if I don't hear back from you, at let's say 5 o'clock, because you might run a little late. Can I just assume that you're not interested and that it's a no and we'll both on our ways, or because I can put in the contract that it does expire in 3 or 4 hours, just to make sure you and I are serious and both on the same page. This is what you want, right? Your price. And then you want to hear, okay, yes, no, maybe, right? So, but it's not like, okay, so we're gonna have this contract, and then I'm gonna make sure that you're gonna do this, and then at that moment in time, then if you don't do this, then I'm gonna cancel that. You're too pushy, right? You want to make sure. Oh well, okay, so I want to make sure that if at 5 o'clock I call you back, or 4:30 I call you back, I want to make sure that you are, this is something that you consider. We're on the same page. But I do have to put it in there that the offer will expire. Is that comfortable with you? Is that okay? I'll hear back from you at 4:30, right?
Okay.
And then you can hear that, and then based on what they say, so let's say, well, I still need to look it over, or it's like, no, I want to do this. I just need to make sure that I'm going to look over the paperwork, protect myself, right? That's going to be a different answer for like, oh no, maybe, no, no, no. It's like, oh, okay, great, sir. Depending on what they say. Great, sir. Okay, so I'm going to send you this agreement. I'm going to put in there that this offer is going to expire, because I can't do this for everyone. It's really hard for me to find that price. I'm not sure if I can do it. I'm not sure if my team can do it. But before I send this, I do need to make sure that my team is involved. Your partners are on the same page. So if you do get a draft from me in the next 5 to 10 minutes, know that we're serious about this offer, and that and if we don't hear back from you at the 4:30 or 5:30 mark, it's safe to assume that you don't want to do it, right? So you got the second confirmation, right? You don't have to tell them, hey, I'm going to cancel this, extra this, extra this, extra this, right? You want to be like, oh, okay, cool. Make sure I want to make sure that you and I are both on the same page, and that's okay, right? It's because that's something we have to do to make sure. I have to make sure that my money partner is safe. I'm safe. We can't just be throwing these offers out and leaving them for God who knows when, for like 6 years down the line or whatever. It has to expire in the next 5 hours, and then we can start working for you. But you don't have to say all of that. You just need to make sure that it sounds like that. And then based on what they say after the second confirmation, no, call me back at 4:30. I'll be able to do this. It's like, okay, great. I'll call you back at 4:30. If I don't hear back from you at 5, that's okay too. You have a nice day. Click.
I see what I did it wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're at the hour mark, and I think this is actually not a really bad first time. We got a couple people here. So maybe we can wrap up in the next 5 minutes. If you guys have any questions, that's great too. If not, we're pretty much done. If you guys watching the replay, just let us know like what you thought, what we did wrong, what we could have done better, whether you agree or disagree. What do you think we should work on next time? You know, we're always experimenting. So we change it up all the time, and we can be completely wrong. That's okay too. You mute yourself. But that's generally how we go through things. If she hands me a call, that's how I'll go through it. If it's a cash script, that's exactly what I do. There's nothing that I've said that I don't do. That's exactly how I would run it through my mind. And she's still working on that. But that's if they only wanted a cash offer. And if we were doing the lease options, then we are basically just doing the 36 months, and we're kind of figuring out, okay, well, if they want X, then they're going to have to give up X. And if they agree that we're on the same page, then they need to confirm or deny an appointment time. We're on the same page. And then our agreements, whether it's an LOI or the actual draft itself, it always has an expiration date. So it's either going to be 5 hours, 1 day, or 2 days. So we send out contracts. We send out 1 to 2 contracts a day, and some of them don't work out, and it's okay. But if they do work out, then it's very good for us. So that's what we keep in mind. We just talk to sellers like this. We just improve. We make sure that we're talking to at least 5 people a day, but we're generally talking to at least 10 people a day to get that 1 or 2 contracts and to get some kind of commitment. And even if they don't sign today, we set ourselves a better position because we generally build up trust to follow up back. It's like, hey, in 30 days, hey, Mr. Seller, I see that your house is still on the market. Were you still interested in doing the things that we said before? Okay, great. You still interested? Or no, you're not interested? Okay, great. Well, is it okay if I maybe call you back in like 30 days or something like that? It's like, okay, yes or no. It's like, great. And remember that conversational point in my note that we were talking about? We had that great conversation, and yeah, that was great. Did your husband laugh at that joke that we had last time? No? Yes or no? Okay, great. Well, okay, that's great. I told my joke to my husband. He said it wasn't funny. And then wait. Okay, so I was like, okay, cool. They have a response. You feel like it's not just a business phone call. They're dealing with someone that is a person, right? You want to get all the number stuff in place, and you want to get all the gut stuff in place, but you also have to make sure that you have to get all the people stuff in place. Because even if you have the right numbers and you're closing correctly, you'll sound too much like a robot if you do it without the nurturing side. And that's probably one I want to end with. It's like, make sure that even though you have the numbers in mind and you're crafting the lease option offer or the owner financing offer or the cash offer option or whatever offer that you have in mind that works for you, the end buyer, and them, that not to just sound super mechanical, struggle a little bit, make sure that they know you're struggling a little bit, and present it to them and be like, okay, well, I want to make sure that my team's happy, you're happy, everyone's happy. And if we have to take a couple more days to do that, that's okay. But if you're really ready to move forward today, like, why don't we do something today? I need to make sure that, in the contract, it says 1 day or 2 days, whatever we agree upon, whatever we're on the same page. And hopefully we're all on the same page in writing. And if not, you need some time to think about it. How long would you need, sir? Oh, more than 3 days? Okay, so more than 3 days. I don't think you're a lead, sir. So I don't think you're ready to do something today. Okay, great. So let's maybe reconvene. Let's talk a little bit more. Let's build some more trust. Or maybe, and this is what I'm pretty sure, if you built enough trust with that person and that person doesn't want to close today or within the next 3 days, it's because they have another offer. You're not the first person to call, right? Maybe it's another coach member, a club member Maybe it's someone that else is in a different lease option program or creative financing or someone with a better offer or better cash deal. But if you did your numbers right and you really made sure that you gave them a bunch of options and you're working through all the options with them and you're doing it in a very nice way, polite way, courteous way, something that's adaptable to them, and you're reaffirming with guts, like, okay, if we were able to do that, you'll be able to do something. Okay, when would be the good time? You're able to close those links. And let's say you do everything perfectly and they have another offer and they're not telling you, let them go through that offer. Let them fail. Let them take that offer, take that risk. Okay, great. You know what? It sounds to me that you already have a full price offer already, right? Let it go through. Let your contracts fade out. Let it burn through the 2 days. Let them go make that decision. You don't want to be the first person they talk to. You want to be the last person they talk to. And with that, I think it's a good wrap for the show. I thank you guys for coming. I hope to see you guys next week too. This was the first test, so let us know in the comments what you think, and I'll see you guys next time.